So not too long ago, we had to do a Tuya Convert's What's Next video. Well, guess what? We're back. Game on, Tuya. We're going to show you how to wipe your card because you will need to put a new install of Raspbian Buster Lite on your Raspberry Pi, as well as we'll show you a link that if you're running Proxmox, that'll help you use that with Proxmox instead of using a Raspberry Pi. So be sure and stick around. Might learn something. You already know how to do this. And check out all the links down in the description of the video. I appreciate any purchases or whatnot when you use the links down below. It definitely helps us out in future projects. So let's get to it and get our devices out the cloud. And yes, no soldering is needed. You'll need your standard Raspberry Pi. Of course, you will need your micro SD card and adapter to flash the image. Now remember, you will need Ethernet attached to it because the Wi-Fi from the Raspberry Pi is used to flash the switch. Now if you do have HASS-IO and only one Raspberry Pi, you can temporarily swap the SD card and use it while you're flashing your devices. First we need to grab Raspbian Buster Lite, and we will leave all the links down in the video description down below. Need to grab Etcher if you don't already have it installed. Open Etcher, select the image from Raspbian, hit open, and select target for your micro SD card and hit the flash button. Give it a while, it will start flashing. If you get this message, hit cancel and it'll continue to flash. Once it's done flashing, you will need to cycle the micro SD card in and out, and it should pop up the boot folder. And you will need to make a new file called SSH without any extension. This will allow us to connect to PuTTY to the Raspberry Pi. We'll scroll down, we'll eject the card to make sure it flushes all the writes, and then we'll put the card in the Raspberry Pi and boot the Raspberry Pi up. Next, you'll need PuTTY. If you don't already have PuTTY, go ahead and download it and install it. Then you'll put the IP address into your Raspberry Pi. The login will be Pi and the password is Raspberry. It won't show the password when you type it. Next, you'll do sudo raspi-config, and we're going to extend the partition out to make sure we have enough room on the micro SD card. Hit OK, go down to finish, let it reboot. Now for all the steps you have to type out, we will leave down in the video description so you can copy and paste them. Give it a little bit, and then once you'll hit OK on this message here, and then we'll go up and hit restart session and log back into the Raspberry Pi. Next we'll do sudo apt install git. This will allow us to pull in Tuya Convert. Sometimes these steps do take a little bit, so give them time. Hit yes for continue. Git clone. Now do not paste the text here. Use the one in the video description because this will change as things go on. Next, Tuya Convert, and we'll install the prerequisites. Now this can take a lot of time, so go ahead, let it install the prerequisites and come back after a few minutes. Make sure it installs SSL-PSK, and you should see ready to start upgrade. At this point in time, you're almost ready to flash your Tuya device, but as the recording of this video, there is one other step that I highly recommend you do. I did do a pull request into the Tuya Convert GitHub, but as of the recording of this video, you will have to do this manually. And what this does is going to allow you to make sure that you are putting in the correct Wi-Fi credentials without getting locked out of your device, which that would be really bad on, say, a smart bulb or some other devices that you can't open. So we'll leave a link to this folder in the description of the video, but it is a bin file that you'll need to copy to your Raspberry Pi. If you take a look in the generic folder and download the latest one to your computer, then we'll need to use an app such as WinSCP, and we'll copy that to the Raspberry Pi. So on the Raspberry Pi, if you look in the Tuya Convert folder and then look in Files, and you'll notice, like I say, as the recording of this video, the third-party.bin is only 1 kilobyte. It actually links to the other Sonoff Basic bin, which that's only going to give you one chance at putting in the correct Wi-Fi password and SSID. So of course, with this bin file, you can mess up as many times as you want on the Wi-Fi, and it'll always continue to kick out the Wi-Fi access point so you won't get locked out of the device. So we'll delete this third-party bin. We'll drag over the one we just downloaded, and then we'll rename it to Thirdparty.bin. Now, if you want to use some wget commands straight from the Raspberry Pi, by all means do so if you know how to do those. And now we're ready to flash. Be sure and grab your phone, tablet, or some other device because you're going to need to connect to the Wi-Fi hotspot that the Raspberry Pi makes. Start flash.sh. Now, of course, you're at your own risk at this point because potentially you could brick one of your devices with a bad flash. But hey, that's probably a risk we'll have to take with getting our devices out of the cloud and taking them into our own for local control. So what you have to do here is just type yes and press enter. Now you notice right here it says vtrust-flash. Go ahead and look for that on your phone, and the WPA password is flashme if you can. And always make sure you're attached to it because otherwise the smart config will not work and not attach to the Tuya device and your flash will fail. So we'll connect to it. Sure enough, we see vtrust-flash. We'll enter the password if needed and make sure it does say connected. Now, if you do get a message saying that there's no internet on that vtrust-flash, go ahead and cancel the process and reboot the Pi, and that should correct that issue and start over with just the start flash. So I have that issue, so we'll do sudo reboot. You probably will only have that problem just as soon as you do a new config with the libraries and everything on the Raspberry Pi. You shouldn't have the issue going forward. Tuya Convert and /start flash.sh again. And we'll look for the access point again, and it should give us internet on it. And next, you need to put your device in pairing mode. Now, if you don't know how to do that, you'll need to refer to the instructions that came with the Tuya device. A lot of times it's hold down a certain button for 5 seconds or turn the power off and on certain sequences if it's a smart bulb. And you want to make sure it's in pairing mode and not the slow flash mode that puts out an access point. You need to have it in the fast flashing mode. We're using a smart bulb, and I do have that attached to a smart plug. It makes it easy to just turn on and off 3 times to put it into pairing mode. All right, it's in fast pairing mode, and we're still connected to vtrust flash, and we'll press the enter key and cross your fingers. Now, going solid, it may not happen to all devices, but for my particular smart bulbs, and they're just some off-the-wall brands, that's a good sign that it just went solid. It means the communication worked and is trying to do the exploit. Now, if you're familiar with the previous Tuya Convert, this does take a little bit longer to get started, so just be patient. And now once you get the IoT devices online with IP, that's it. It will flash, and now yours won't be scrolling up the screen. It's because I had the font, a bigger font, and it's actually causing it to roll on the screen just so we could see it on different devices. Typically, it will be on one line, but this is a good sign. It's doing the backup, and then next you will be able to flash Tasmota. And there we go. Now, because we did put that third-party bin file on there, you will want to copy this entire line. Now, before you do that, scroll up and make sure the active user space is showing user 2. If it is, you're good. If not, what you'll need to do is look at number 2, and you'll need to copy this curl command, the entire command up to the number /2, and paste it down here. Now what that'll do, it'll do a flash procedure and then it'll reboot. So it takes, give it a minute just to make sure, and it will come back and connect automatically. Then you'll issue the curl command. Now, if you don't take a look at it, the process will tell you you can't do it because it's not running in user space 2. So mine's already there. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this command. Make sure you get all the way to the end on the bin, and then we'll paste it in here and we'll hit enter. Now give it a bit. Have patience. You don't want to stop it during this process. It could potentially brick your device. So you notice we're not seeing any difference on this particular bulb. You may see some differences on the LEDs on different sockets and switches, etc. So just don't worry about it. And what you're going to need to do is use your phone or your computer and look for a Sonoff dash with a number on an access point. So I can see here, mine has Sonoff -4391. And we'll go ahead and connect to it. And once you've connected to that Sonoff dash with the number, which it will be unique to that switch, go to 192.168.4.1 and you'll get the generic Sonoff module. Now don't type the SSID. Go ahead and actually hit scan for Wi-Fi networks. And once you get the list of all the access points, go ahead and pick your access point, and you can go ahead and type in your password. And it's always a good idea, check the box so you can make sure you did not fat finger anything on the password. So once we do that, we'll hit save. And once you hit save, actually nothing else is going to happen, and you will get sometimes a screen showing the connection was interrupted because the access point should drop and it should come up on your Wi-Fi. So connect to your router, use Fing, some other device to search for that IP address on your network. I'm just going to log into the controller and see what new devices have come up. I have mine sorted by uptime, and sure enough, I can see my Sonos device, and I'll browse to the 10.10.1.135. So boom, that's it. Now our device is no longer stuck in the Tuya cloud. Congratulations. Now, one thing I would do, because the version that was sent over during Tuya Convert is a very slimmed down version of Tasmota, I would go through the firmware upgrade process, and you can simply use the OTA update process. It should update to just regular Soldering, which is the standard release of Tasmota. Now, if you do want to use the current development version, just go to the Tasmota GitHub, and you can get the URL that has the latest Soldering.bin that's on the development version. And you can simply copy and paste the URL and hit the start upgrade. So don't forget the upgrade, and congratulations on getting your device out of the cloud. Now, if this is your first time using Tasmota, what do I do from here? Where do I go? What do I put in? How do I get it in a Home Assistant or whatever home integration software? Well, we do have a video for you which shows how to do the configuration into Home Assistant. So we'll go ahead and leave the link down below as well as a card up above for you to click and go configure your device. And that's it. Let the cat and mouse game continue. We're back into doing Tuya Convert. Definitely make sure and go buy whatever you want this time, because we did get locked out for several months, and who's to say that not the same thing is going to happen again. So be sure anything you possibly may want, I would say get it converted over and get it out of the cloud as soon as possible, because we have seen there are some plugs and some light bulbs that are starting to switch to non-ESP devices, unfortunately. Now, possibly they're looking at switching all of them to truly lock us out and not use ESP8266 devices. Who knows? Only time will tell. So hurry up. I would definitely go get what you need while you can. Not the whole sky is falling or anything like that, but you just never know. I'm going to go ahead and grab a few spares of things that I may want, and that way I can just have some hot spares to go if I need to swap out anything. Be sure, if you got any comments, you got devices you had issues with, join us in Discord. You can find the link down below. A lot of fun, others to help out. So definitely check out the links down below. We got some various links to help purchase devices, and it does help out the channel for future projects, and we appreciate it. So thanks to the Patreon members out there. I truly appreciate it. If you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down. Give us a few comments. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know why we're not doing so well. And y'all take care.
That was so fun.
Did you make it?